Good morning. We are getting our orders packed this morning, and then we're going to go for a run, jog, sprint at the track, and on with the day. Today on the Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. Dealer here with Tuesday edition of the Crazy Picker Life. Banana Peeler got started here. He left me a little bit of a mess. We always have bubble wrap that's sort of floating around that we can reuse, and I try to use that up first before we get overrun by stuff like that. It can get out of control in a hurry. Banana Peeler got some orders done. Looks like there's one he can't find, a couple other small ones that just came in that I had him find. Expensive lens, big ugly piece, expensive order, and then a watch order, and then this big Bogan tripod piece that sold for $40 plus shipping. It might have something that it's not really broken, but somebody broke it and put a new piece on there, and it seems to work fine. It's just been recalibrated. Okay, so today will be a regular day. It is the end of July, and so I've already started to work on my end of July accounting numbers, tracking numbers. Wanted to see how we did in July, wanted to see where my money is in the business, wanted to see where the sales were, wanted to see how the inventory was going, all those things. End of month is sort of a gathering of information and put it on paper for me, and a reflection on how the month went and how everything's going in the business, and even as it extends into our personal finances. Many of you, I'm sure, have a similar time in your business. I used to do more like wing it, and end of the year I'd get a snapshot when taxes were calculated. I'm trying more and more and more to get more and more data to make good decisions. It is tough, mainly because we're a small shop and I'm leveraged and everybody's leveraged. Lon has been doing her part in helping me get our bookkeeping into QuickBooks. We're using QuickBooks Online, and I use some other spreadsheets and things like that. I'm not holding up my end. I need to go and audit those months that she's put in there, and we're continually sharpening that and trying to make everything more streamlined and simplified. You know, over time things get more complex, harder to deal with. We've got multiple PayPal accounts, multiple you know, ways we buy things. It's somewhat a rat's nest at times, but we have simplified it, and then it's sort of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We continue to have to work on that. Okay, so I'm going to get packing done today. I want to talk briefly about this project that I'm probably prepping and starting today, and we'll show some things. Tomorrow or Thursday it's going to be full guns ahead, and I'm actually hoping and pushing mentally to be done by the end of Saturday. I don't know if that's possible. So here's what I'm going to do. We have backstock inventory in a couple different places on site, and of course we have some off site that's not going to be included in this project. Some of it is under this table. It's in all different boxes and totes, mail totes, U-line totes, all kinds of. Some of it's loose under there. I've got a little bit more over here, and then there's 2 or 3 totes in our bathroom down here, which we used to use for storage, We tore out the shower long ago and never put it back in. It was all moldy. And I've been talking about revamping the basement bathroom for a long time, and it never got done. Sometimes things don't get done. That's just how it is. So that's beside the point. And then there's this big mound of mostly boxes and a few totes. There are some totes over there. Boxes and totes of stuff over there. Boxes and totes of stuff over there. And I even got some mystery boxes down there. I'm sure when I open them I'll know what's in there. This stuff is all listed, and it's starting to go out into the floor. By the way, I sold a couple of these rubber plastic flash diffusers finally, so that was exciting. And then this is also some lower grade stuff that needs to be gone through. Okay, so I don't like not knowing what's in these boxes from a couple standpoints. First of all, physically what the items are. I'd like to know more what's in there. I'd also like to have a better idea. I know what I paid for everything. That's not a problem. But we really guesstimate on what we're going to list that stuff for. And so this momentum thing, I need to know about how much stuff we have before I need to plan a trip to go get some more from our storage unit. Since it's a ways away, it's not just a whim. You can't just go, hey, I'm going tomorrow. It just doesn't work like that. It's at least a 2-day window if we really bust it. More than likely it's a 3-day trip by the time you do it all, because of certain factors. We probably want to buy some more while we're there. So I need to know an approximate list, retail number in each of the boxes. And I also want to do a lot more sorting to make Wheeler's listing more streamlined and easy. He doesn't have a lot of room up there to sort stuff. It gets to be kind of a rat's nest up there. I want to do most of that sorting down here, including getting rid of moldy pieces and junk and things I can list. So when he takes items to his office up there, they're more or less ready to look up, clean, picture, and list. And then we can put them in inventory. So what I did, and what I've been thinking about for a long time, even years, just grinding away, how is this the most efficient? And recently we've gotten in such a volume of stuff. I mean, more than ever. We've always bought volume. We've always had back stock. It's not like we run out of things very often. In fact, there was one time a couple years ago, I think we pared it down to almost nothing. And then, 2 weeks later we bought a van load, and 2 weeks after that we bought another van load. So it's not like that. We'll probably never get caught up again, or at least it's going to be a long time, mainly because we have some funnels of stuff started that we can go fill up on at any time pretty much, and we need to fill up on because they overflow and we'll go somewhere else if we don't do it. So there's some pressure on there. That's a whole situation. It's good stuff, but we're on a little bit of a treadmill in a sense, and I can talk about that at another time. That's not the worst thing. For me, that's sort of like part of my boss, my drive. I've got a couple different factors that drive me. That's one of them. And it is pushing me a little bit, and that's not the worst thing. So I went and I decided to buy 100 green totes from Uline. And the totes are like the shipping totes, but they're the variety. They're a nice tote. That's a red one. I've got 100 green ones. And you might say, wow, 100 green totes, that's a lot. It is. What are you going to do with all those? And how much did they cost? Well, they weren't cheap, and the shipping cost wasn't cheap. So, in my mind, part of the reason I didn't snap on these earlier is because of the cost and the size needed, and really this momentum contest and our current listing pace and our back stock here and other places have made me realize, and my space allowed here, and the way we're doing things, and the way we're starting to add helpers with Banana Peeler and Kate, and reasonably soon possibly Lon, and reasonably soon possibly Benjamin. So I'm upping my game. What I want is a standardized container for unlisted inventory. I want to sort the items into that standardized container so I can A, stack it, B, differentiate it from stuff that is coming in boxes and crates and bags and bubble wrap and other things, other totes. And I want to be able to spread it all out, add a value to it, put it in the tote, and label it as such. Here's the approximate listed value when we get around to listing it. And that will be a hip shot, but it will allow me, if I do it correctly, to analyze, add up, know where I'm at with my inventory at any given time. Could I have used something cheaper? Yes, I could have used boxes. Boxes, however, have some limitations. They're not as easy to use. Now, there are some boxes that are open top. They're certainly not going to be as rigid as a tote. They're not as stackable as a tote. They're not as long lasting as a tote. You can't lift them typically as easily as a tote. Some boxes like that have handles, but if you're putting 40 pounds or more, maybe even 60 pounds of camera bodies in there, it doesn't work. Some of the things we have are fragile. I certainly don't want to drop them. So we have used totes for a long time, and I really like the totes. It's just I did not want to purchase all those at that time. Now, we probably have 10 or 20 Uline totes are already around here, and we use those and we like those. We also have been using the mail totes, and I am going to replace those and use those mail totes to give stuff back to USPS, and I'm not going to use the mail totes anymore. I know you're not supposed to. People have told me both ways. It says right on there, don't use those for anything but mail business. We do a lot of business with the USPS, and they've told me point blank, use as many as you want. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to replace those two. That was part of my decision. Coming clean. Coming clean, you know, on that. I don't think there's anything wrong with what I was doing. It was official mail business, because I only use them for stuff basically associated with this business, and 90% of my shipping is with the USPS, so I don't think they're mad about that. I don't know how many thousands of dollars of business I do with them a month, but it's multi-thousand every month. Some months it's as much as $5,000. On our busiest month, I calculated it once, we had a $30-some thousand sales month. I think it was $35,000 sales month or something like that, and our shipping was $5,000-ish. That's a lot of business with a company. So 100 totes. I gotta check my watch here. I gotta go running. 100 totes are coming in tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'm going to get Kate involved, maybe Banana Peeler. We're going to start ripping apart everything we have and the end result is going to be standardized containers to stack. We're going to have numbers on them so we know what's in there and an approximate resale number. Everything is going to be sorted so that Wheeler can grab a tote, whatever he wants. I can grab some more totes to list. We can throw out a bunch more stuff, and I'm going to have a full number on where we're at. It's going to be nice. We get rid of all the cardboard. We also have a recluse spider problem, and they love cardboard, so if I can reduce the cardboard a little bit, that makes me feel a little bit better. If I don't have to put my hands under a box to lift it and get bit by a spider, I kind of like that. These have handles. It's not going to happen. So there's a lot of little things that will make this good. Now, how much did I spend on the totes? Well, 100 is the break point. You get $1 off per tote, which is not a big deal. It's, you know, it's like 8% discount or something like that. I think it's coming out to 13 bucks a tote. It's like $1,300. So I will have to recoup that cost, but I plan to use these 100 totes. When we go to the storage unit, I'm going to use them again and again and again. So the totes are a long-term investment. And some people say, dealer, you're not making any money in this business. Well, if I wasn't making any money, I would take the $1,300 and feed my family first. That would be where I first spend my money. So obviously we're doing okay for those doubters out there. Most people don't spend $1,300 on totes. Just a signal, not bragging, just saying we are moving ahead. Someday maybe we'll be $500,000 a year or even $1 million a year business. I'm not spending like that yet, but I'm thinking ahead. What's it going to take to organize, standardize, teach people in my business group how to sort things? You know, this is how we do it. We're going from hodgepodge to more organized. So that's that. Off to run. 16 packages going downtown. Hello.
Hi.
What was your question?
Why do you like making videos when we always go to the post office?
Everybody loves to see us going to the post office, don't you think?
Yeah, but I think we made a little too much.
A little too many videos of us going to the post office?
I don't know.
Well, maybe we should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
How about we go picking?
Okay.
Oh, sis, did we find anything?
No.
No? How come we keep looking?
If we keep looking, then we keep finding stuff.
What happens when we don't find stuff?
Then we keep trying.
Keep trying another time? Okay. Nothing today. Slim pickings sometimes. Kind of goes in streaks, and I think part of that is somebody will come along and donate several boxes of good stuff, and then it takes a week or so for them to filter through some of that and get it out. I don't come every day. The lady that runs the place says some people come every single day, and so she is putting new stuff out every day. I just don't have the patience to come every day. I know I missed something. There was probably 2 years ago, maybe last year, probably 2 years ago, somebody dumped off their beer tapper collection, and by the time I got there, all but like 4 of them had sold, and they were generic ones. She said there were like 50 of them, and they were marked a couple bucks each, so that would have been a good day. There's always things you miss, and that is just how it works unless you figured out how to be all places at once. Good luck with that. Oh my goodness, my house is so loud and crazy. Oh, it gets late quick when you got homework with the kids. So I finished up the schoolwork for today. Back at it tomorrow. Okay, well, I've got pretty much my area here cleaned The 300 pounds of totes is arriving tomorrow morning sometime, and so I'm going to spend some time down here cleaning up the back room a little bit and getting that ready. There's some things I need to take out of there, and then I need to figure how I can lay out about 40 of these totes and then start bringing out box after box and after box and lay it all out on the table and start sorting it. So I'll show some of that tomorrow. I think we're going to start that project in the afternoon and evening tomorrow, and then pretty much I'm just going to have to push on through, because once you start a project like that, you can leave it, but it'll still be there the next day, so I'm going to have to figure that out. It's going to be a big one. I've got good shelving that fits those totes. I've got good ways to stack those totes. If you don't pack them too full, if you pack them right under the rim, which is what we like to do there, you can put cardboard across the top of 2 or more totes, and you can stack those things at least 4 or 5 or 6 high, depending on what kind of cardboard you have between them and how well you can stack things and how heavy they are. If they're heavy, they tend to sit just fine. So I'm a little excited about that. I'm hoping I can find at least a couple more totes for me, and if not, I've got a plan B where I'm going. Yeah, I enjoyed picking up those 2 items this last weekend. Those are more in my wheelhouse. I would like to pick that stuff up every day, but obviously I would have to get out and scour the area and beyond for that kind of stuff every day. So that's not going to happen, but I can go out and buy a little bit more on one given day, hopefully, and less on others. I don't know. So we'll see what the sort brings. End of month. I was hoping Wheeler would put some numbers up today. I put some numbers up this morning early. I finished, I had most of those 2 listings done last night. I finished them up this morning. I'm going to be listing some things once I'm off the camera here. Okay, what else is going on here? Yeah, so clean the back room a little bit. I think I have 7 items left to list. We've already got a bunch of orders for tomorrow. Banana Peeler tells me that I can't mess the area up so bad, so he can't pack, and I agree. I guess I'm also going to restock the box area so that I can get some boxes out of the back room area. Well, let me do that stuff, and we'll be back tomorrow with an exciting day as usual. Pick well, list often. Hope your day went well. Dealer out.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer production.